The O Cannabis Conference and Expo returns to Toronto June 1st through the 3rd, and there's still some good booth locations available. This exciting event is free for cannabis retailers and will feature Tommy Chong receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award at the O Cannabis Industry Awards. For more information about exhibiting or to register to attend, go to ocannabis.com. That's OCANNABIZ.com.
Hey you guys, hi again. It's Mary White, the Cooking with Cannabis lady, and who are these people? I got men in the kitchen today. We're here today with Josh of Super Chronic Cafe and our good friend Maggie, who is our good friend, and he's going to be the taste tester. And what we're doing today, Josh actually came up with this a couple days ago. He's like, you got your High Times cookbook, right? How does that compare to my cookbook? And I was like, it's on like Donkey Kong. So my cookbook, the CBD cookbook for beginners, is also really good for just cooking with pot, okay? And that's what we're gonna do today. So Josh, tell me, what is the strain that we're working with today?
This is a ganja strain. I have no idea what oh, actually I do, because I gave it to you. Yeah, so that makes sense. This is a mixture between Blue Dream and Orange Tangy. So I gave you an ounce of each. I don't know which ones you use, but they're both outdoor, approximately 16%, organic, pesticide-free. Nice. So not the greatest of quality. You know, it's a little dry or whatever, but perfect for this application.
Yeah. Well, and actually, I'm glad you said that, because as you guys are learning how to cook with cannabis, realize that you don't have to spend $200 for an ounce of the top tier. Now, you are going to get better flavor if you use bud, because there's a lot more concentration of cannabinoids in the bud, right? But you don't have to buy the super duper stuff. Just get something good. And today, the strains that we're working with are kind of bright, okay? I don't want you guys to get really too tangled up. We were just talking about this, but you can get really tangled up with matching the flavor to the strain. But what I've discovered is if you add a few extra spices or lemon or whatever, and then just realize that you're cooking with cannabis and it's going to be a little vegetal, you don't have to worry so much about the strain. So what we're going to do today is compare green ganja garlic smashed potatoes from the High Times cookbook and my, of course, eminently elegant recipe, mushrooms and brandy cream. So I guess we're just going to start fucking cooking, if that's okay. Yeah?
Down, yeah.
So, okay, I got your water almost boiling. So he's following a recipe. I love it when men follow recipes. Now you go ahead and read. I'll just talk, because you know that's what I do. I do want to show y'all what this butter looks like. Now this is a little more than a pound of infused butter, again with the Blue Dream and the Tangy. So it's going to be more on the sativa side. But Maggie, put your nose in there.
That's 2 ounces of weed in that?
No, ounce and a half, baby.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is the good stuff. And it doesn't have a real pronounced flavor or odor, though it does seem to be a little bit more on the, I'm going to say bright, a little bit sweet side. No, not sweet. Well, you'll see, because you're the taste tester. Yeah. Now, my recipe calls for 3 tablespoons of butter, 1 medicated, 2 plain. But because Maggie's here and he's a professional, we're using 3 tablespoons of medicated infused butter.
And that's 150 milligrams?
Now, I like to estimate, when I'm working with cannabis, 100 milligrams of cannabinoids, primarily THC, per gram. So if you have 28 grams in an ounce, then that's going to have 2,800 milligrams, because it's a pound, right? So dividing, each one of these tablespoons is going to be around 50 milligrams.
Okay.
Now, ooh, nice chopping. Can we just have a round of applause? Look at that. Oh, knife skills. Hello.
I make house calls.
Now, let me just say, this is not a rutabaga, like it said in the recipe, because they didn't have any, because it's spring. It's a turnip. I peeled it for you all by myself.
Making my life easy.
I know. Now, one of the things I don't usually do when I'm cooking is I don't usually saute with infused butter, primarily because you're going to burn off some of the goodness. But because you're here and you're a pro, I figure we're going to do all 3 tablespoons and just get that melted. Yes. So, Maggie, tell me your history with cannabis.
I grew up with it. My mom had a plant in the backyard. My mom, so we used to get cannabis from my great grandmother, to treat her ailments. Like she would take the weed and put it in rubbing alcohol and then put it on her wrist and whatnot.
Yeah,
and,
tincture.
Yeah, nothing like an 86-year-old Mexican great grandmother using her secret recipe.
I'm so glad you said that, though, because what I've been discovering in researching my books and also just in reading, this is great grandma medicine. You guys, this has been medicine as long as there have been human beings. And it's only been in the last 80 years in this messed up country that we've had this prohibition. This is medicine. And the fact that you get a little sparkly, that's just extra credit.
Well, and we still have trying to get an understanding of what it does to your body. You know, we have that stigma of the hippie high, and when I was listening to Cheech Chong on the way here, you know, because you have the old radio experience. I was like, man, I just missed the Big Bamboo record and the talking. But sometimes you're like, yeah, man, Dave's not hearing me. You know, you just all right. Now we have to get past that because that's not all of us. Some of us. You know, that's my teenage kid. I don't know if it's because of the weed or just because he's a teenage kid, but you know, it's just stereotypes, right?
Yeah.
We got stigmas and bounce out of it. That's all. And I think I'll have a nice nap after this, though.
Well, honey, you probably will, because again, again, let us all take a look. He's got. Oh, have you been to culinary school? Where'd you learn them little cuts? That's impressive.
The kitchen, University of my kitchen.
Damn. I just love a man who can cook. That's nice. Your water's almost boiling here. I'll turn that up for you. What we're doing here, he's making a combination of potatoes and a root vegetable and an ass load of garlic. Oops,
Ooh, you can smell that cannabis.
Yeah. There we go. And that gets cooked till it's all soft, and then you moosh it up. I'm doing these mushrooms.
Magic.
These mushrooms. That's another class.
Oh yeah.
And I want to see. I'm scared about getting this too hot. I don't want to burn off the goodness, but at the same point, it's got to be warm enough. You want to dump all that in there. Dumping me. Look at that.
When you smell that flour after butter, does that signify pretty much ready to be used?
Yeah. And again, if it.
Watch out. It's hot.
Okay, wait. Yeah. Let's pretend I'm a professional. Let's pretend. Look at the dice. Oh, I'm so impressed. Good thing you're married. Because, boy, those kind of skills, that shit's important. There we go. There, now you be the boss of stirring. I just had to help you.
All right.
Okay. And, there you go, buddy. Woo! The world's smallest stove. There we are. Look at us. It's like a well-oiled machine. Oh, now, see, some little water got in there. Now, I want to tell you guys a little secret about any time you're working with mushrooms. You know how when you go to a restaurant and the mushrooms have that beautiful crust on the bottom? When you're sauteing mushrooms, don't move them around. Let them sit there. Just let them be comfy. And Josh, you can move over here. You don't have to stand there. I won't grab you or anything.
That's all right.
Okay.
Just hanging out.
I promise. I won't grab you.
For the garlic and the cannabis, you do like extra healthy mashed potatoes, like healing with mashed potatoes.
Absolutely. And I think too, his is going to have, because he's got 4 tablespoons of the pot butter, and he's not sauteing with it. So that's going to be strong and good. I do want to remind you guys, I was talking about 100 milligrams per gram. This is generous, and it varies, okay? But it's important, as you're cooking with cannabis, for you to be pretty clear about how much you're ingesting. And a lot of it depends on if you've decarboxylated your cannabis correctly. If you do it too hot, you can lose some stuff. If you don't do it long enough, you don't get as much stuff. So again, this is folk medicine. Okay, it's your great grandma's medicine. Yeah. It's our ancestors' medicine. So don't anticipate exactly 2.5 milligrams per blah blah. It ain't going to be like that. Okay, you have to trust your body.
Yeah.
And see how you feel. And what I like to do too, especially when I'm trying a new strain or a new recipe, is because sometimes I don't remember very good anymore. But what you can do is write down, like this Blue Dream Tangy combo. Okay, we made 1.5 pounds of butter with it. So actually, if you could let us know later today how you're feeling.
Oh, yeah. I'll definitely let you know, for sure.
Because if you get all woo and start mowing the lawn and cleaning the roof.
Well, my morning breakfast bowl is already moistened off, so I'm ready for round 2, whatever kicks in next. So we'll be good to go. I'll definitely tell you what kicks in.
I love the idea of a breakfast bowl.
It's a
delicious breakfast.
Good way to start the day.
That's right. Well, I guess that's going to take about 15 minutes or so. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think, the diary aspect of it, the best way, I think most people ask about flour and what should I do when I start taking cannabis? Well, there's no one way to do it.
Exactly.
Each person's got to this bowl of Blue Dream worked for my back, or this bowl of purple tangy kept me up all night. You got to make your own record. Like coffee. Some people stay up all day. Some people crash real hard. Very rarely do some people crash, but some people do.
Well, this is good information. No, and that's very true too. And I think so much of this is about learning how you paying attention to how you feel. Yeah. We're used to the doctor saying blah blah blah, but if you really want to be in charge of yourself, you can do your own medicine.
That's the wellness aspect of it.
Yeah,
there's not one. It's about getting in touch with your endocannabinoid system, really. It's the thing that is entwined within your bone system, your nervous system. It's the only thing that's absorbing it. You don't have a meth cannabinoid system. You have it.
Well, and that's the wonderful thing about the more we learn about cannabis, right? Because I didn't know there was an endocannabinoid system.
Yeah.
Or that your body produces cannabinoids, or that we're ready to receive them.
Yeah.
And same with the cat and the dog and the mammals and stuff.
Yep.
Everybody likes the pot. Ooh, that's right. Now you guys can see these shrooms, how they're getting a little translucent looking. I want that to be boiling more. I might have too much water in there. Anyway, but you see how they're kind of getting a little translucent? They're getting there, okay? And notice how they shrink. This was 1 pound of mushrooms. There we are. Now these babies. Oh, I wish you guys could smell this. Because it's a combination of shrooms and butter and then pot.
All earthy.
Ooh, very earthy. Yeah. Now normally with that earthiness, I would tend toward something with more myrcene. More. If we were being chefy, if we were going to match, flavors or whatever. But
I think you said it best earlier, where you expect the taste of the pot. We don't all have money to buy the pairing of my beer versus the whatever dinner I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and we were talking earlier too. I'm glad that there's cannabis cooking shows. Obviously. It's great, but I don't want you all thinking that in order to cook with cannabis, you have to be a chef or you have to match the flavor, because you don't. Yeah. If it doesn't smell right, then you can go, well, that's going to be a little funky, so maybe I better add a little more pepper,
Yeah.
or maybe some lemon zest at the end, something like that. And wait, let me read my recipe. Hang on. Da-da-da-da-da. Ooh, a shallot. Finely dies.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, guys, almost.
I think for most people, they're initially going to try and look at not just the particular strain, but to look to see if it's an indica or sativa. Obviously, you don't want to eat something for breakfast that's an indica normally, because that's going to make you sleepy.
Yes.
Although I've heard if you have ADD or ADHD, that an indica has an inverse relationship, or opposite effect.
Yes.
So you can be more energized by an indica if you have ADD. I don't know. I've just heard that. But that's what I would focus on more is a daytime versus nighttime strain.
Oh, smart.
But like you said, myrcene, for me, myrcene gives me the munchies and it also makes me sleep.
Right.
So when you're looking at specific terpenes, which is more advanced, after you get to the beginner stage of indica sativa, look at what that terpene is going to do to you.
Right.
Is it going to make you energetic, uplifting, euphoric? Or is it going to make you sleepy and help with pain and all of those things? Do you need to mow the lawn while you have back pain? Or do you need to go to bed and sleep for 10 hours? Yeah. Those are going to be the differences, I think, with the terpenes and the outcome that you're looking for.
Yeah.
Would you say, too, like when you're stirring this and things, the cannabis is, terpenes come from everything, right? Pepper, lavender, all the different things.
Yes.
When you add that when you smell it, because like with weed, you say, hey, smell the weed. If it smells good to you, your body says that's what I want, because that's what you're missing, maybe. Same thing for rice when you're cooking, right? You smell it, you're like, you need more peppery stuff,
Yeah.
Which is kind of like you're adding that terpene in, though.
We eat with our eyes, and I think we smoke with our nose. When you smell that terpene flavor and it has a significant pinene effect, then you're like, oh, I want some of that. And so I think, with your eyes, you're going to put more food on your plate than maybe you can have, and you pack that bowl bigger. You can't quite finish that 1 gram joint, whatever the scenario is.
The eyes are bigger than your stomach sometimes, right? Yeah.
The bitch about growing older, one of the many issues, is that you still think, oh yeah, I can eat all the food, right? Yeah. And then you go, no.
Yeah, right. Metabolism.
Walk around in a mood.
So that's an interesting point, because with quarantine, I've got the Q10 on my waistline, because my wife wants extra sugar and more donuts or whatever.
Yes, she does.
And so we're bringing in a lot more comfort foods because of the pandemic. So for me, that's created a sense of inflammation and then dehydration. And so I went through a battle this last weekend where I literally couldn't move my neck. So I've been to a deep tissue massage for twice this week. I've been putting in 200 ounces of water into my body, so I will be using your bathroom a lot.
I'll look forward to that.
But for me, it's been interesting because I've been trying to do multiple things. So topicals for the shoulder and neck.
How did that work, by the way?
That stuff you gave me worked really well. Yeah.
Good.
So I also use a vape pen if I'm out and about, flour if I'm at home, but edibles for sleep. So I've just been kind of consuming more cannabis in the last week than I have probably in a year, just because of pain.
Yeah.
So it's interesting trying to try different methods of consumption.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all a vehicle in which to help you either recreationally or medically get by.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think with food, it's just a different experience. And people are going to want that experience. They're not going to want the flavor or whatever else. I think people are going to come back to that experience.
Yeah, true. 1 second, because this is good. I have to put the brandy in, and I just want to let you guys know, when you do add a high-octane alcohol to a dish, don't burn yourself up. Now, if we lit that right now, it would be really cool, but I'm not gonna, because love you guys, don't want to burn you up.
Nice.
With a recipe like this, you want to let that alcohol cook off. So as soon as that alcohol smell is gone, we can add the heavy cream. And then we can give it to you on top of buttered toast.
Ooh.
I usually do this on like a protein, but I love you guys, but I didn't want to roast you a chicken. Couldn't do it.
Looking forward to it.
Now what we're going to do is move these around again as soon as this brandy disappears. This is one of the challenges with a small stove and electric burners, but this is how most people live. So this is reality. Okay, so now we're going to do this. Put this one over here like this. Whoa! See? That makes a difference. Okay, there. That should get cooked more quickly. Now the great thing about heavy cream is it's immediate sauce.
Oh.
I mean, all you got to do is pour it in and let it cook a little bit, and it's so thick and delicious. You can't have any. Too bad for you. Oh, heavy cream.
You can't have fettuccine Alfredo, huh?
Oh no.
Oh my god.
No, I have some Alfredo at home. It's just made with coconut milk.
Oh, okay. It's a go-to in my house.
Oh really?
Yeah, we make it with heavy cream and Parmesan. We do it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's, another one of those things that I just don't eat anymore.
I'm going to sound really hippie and say that there's a really good cashew Parmesan cheese.
I knew somebody was going to bring up the goddamn fake cheese.
Oh shit!
I like the pizza, the gluten-free crust with the vegan cheese, but it's not enough, so you can add a little bit more
pepperoni?
Parmesan.
Oh,
real pepperoni too. Yeah, not the vegan pepperoni. But I mean, it hasn't been that hard to go dairy and gluten-free because there's a lot of substitutes.
Yeah.
So with the gluten breads, like 8 years ago, they were terrible.
Oh, they were awful.
They're horrible. And now, like, they're fine.
It's
as long as
pretty
they're
good,
toasted,
Yeah.
they're good. Untoasted, I don't even
Gluten-free
bother.
pasta is really good too.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the pastas are fine. So there's a lot of substitutes, and with dairy, coconut milk, and everything is a good substitute. Hemp milk is awesome. Like a hemp mocha is so like
creamy,
silky and smooth and rich. I actually like a hemp mocha way more than a regular mocha. It's just a lot more decadent.
Yeah. I did want to tell you guys that I tried this with hemp milk last week, and it works great.
Oh.
Tiny difference in flavor.
Mm-hmm.
But hemp milk, in order to make it milk, they do have to add a lot of like carrageenan and stuff, which is fine. It's a natural, thing. But the stuff they have to add to it is what gives it that wonderful mouthfeel. Mm-hmm. So it's like cream, only it ain't cream.
Right.
So I'll quit giving you shit about your dietary choices.
But it's not really a choice.
I know, you'll explode. Well, for about a year after I got my gallbladder removed, I had the same thing. You had to really be careful, and all of a sudden you're having diarrhea on the side of the road. I mean,
Sure.
you got.
I got a friend like this.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
You find with your cannabis use? Oh.
I'm gonna win. Shit, that's good.
Yeah, I've never really been an edibles because for me they were like mostly like sleepy time stuff. I always had the best sleep. Never had like a 2 hour later nightmare experience. Where you hear that all the time. Where like, the edible kicked my ass. Never. So it's been like, all right, I'm going to bed.
So, I just did an edible review on the podcast recently, and somebody had mentioned or made a comment about how your tolerance is too high. If 100 milligrams can't affect you, and it is too high, but I'm not alone. There's plenty of us in the industry that 100 milligrams is the equivalent of 5 to 10 for a normal person.
Well, what's too high though? I mean, how do you stay too high when?
Well, you can't. Because everybody's different.
Yeah.
And again, for me, we were talking about this earlier, that 100 milligrams would be okay. Yeah, I'd be all right.
As long as it works. So if I'm going to spend $16 to $20 on an edible, it better work. And what I mean by that, it's relative. It needs to work for me.
Yeah.
Right.
And so if I'm going to go to a bar or a restaurant and only walk away having spent $16 to $20, I'm going to feel pretty good about that.
Right.
A burger is about $16 these days.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So I get what he was saying, that businesses need to make money. Mm-hmm. Yes. However, if it's going to be something that you buy on the regular, like you go to the bar or restaurant 3 days a week, there needs to be more value. So when I look at edibles, it's going to be a 10 to 15 cents per milligram.
Okay.
So it's not really about the price per se, it's going to be the profit. As long as they can profit, those prices can come way down with the decrease in CBD, for example, or THC, isolate, distillate, full spectrum, whatever. All of those derivatives are going to be a lot cheaper. Therefore, maybe the volume can increase by being every other day or 3 to 4 times.
Yeah.
Instead of, so it's Friday today, and Friday's edibles sell between the hours of 3 and 5. Every third basket is an edible. So if you are prepared, 30% of all edibles sell between that window of 3 to 5 on Friday. So as an edible maker, you've got to be on point.
Yeah.
But if we take that outside and we legalize marijuana lounges, it's currently a felony in Washington State.
Really need that though.
Yeah.
How much is food going to be? Is it going to be affordable? So is it affordable for a business to serve CBD and THC infused foods at only 10 to 15 cents per milligram?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's like you're already paying $20 to say whatever. I want to go to a nice restaurant. You pay for a nice plate and everything.
What's the premium for cannabis? How much more are you willing to spend for that experience?
But the edible
That's a really good point.
too can come down to like what are you eating? Like you see a lot of candies and shit, and I don't want to eat candies and shit.
No, I don't want to eat
that.
no. Yeah.
If I want to feel good, because there's different type of products. I don't know if you remember, there used to be nachos. the Dorito chips? Because I remember I met you and or not you, but your brand, the Super Chronic brand. Do you remember the Medicine Man?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that because they would do like a little like meet and greets and little circle,
Sure.
early market stuff back in the day, and then the nacho chips were okay. Had a good flavor, and after I ate the whole bag, I was like, all right, this ain't kicking my ass. I went to bed, I was like, oh my god, it slept so good. But that was it. There was no extra moment. And I was like, I just can't see eating goddamn chips every fucking night though if I want to like have a good rest.
One thing I ran into when I was doing my cookbooks was that whole thing. You know, I don't want to sit around and have to eat 10 cookies.
Yeah.
But what I do now, and I really recommend this for people, is I'm a big fan of condiments. Add to what you're making.
Okay.
Because, you know that show on TV we're talking about, the Cooking with Cannabis show?
Yeah.
Everything they make, they measure it out, and they got like 2 milligrams or 5 milligrams. I'm like, what the fuck is that for?
Right.
That's ridiculous,
Yeah.
right? So, but if you have mustard, mayonnaise, ketchup, I have medicated CBD salt, I have THC sugar, all those things, you can add. Hang on, I gotta get my man set up here, baby.
And shout out to Kelly Ogilvie with Deep Cell. He's the one that was in that Netflix movie about his sugars, ruby sugar and salts. He's got a lot of patents.
Yeah.
He's based in Seattle.
Oh, wow.
He went to my high school, smart guy. So.
Maybe he wants to be my new boyfriend.
Shout out.
Sounds like a sexy beast. Now I'm gonna go ahead and give you your goodies, me. And you can see what you think. Here, let me give you implements, just like we're grown up.
Right.
There you go, baby. Now, if we need salt, pepper, there, and let me just spoon you up some delicious mushrooms.
Sounds good.
I really want to eat some. Okay. I'm calm. I gotta get you the right thing, though. That's not the right thing. Look at, boy, Josh, you're strong.
Mashed potatoes ain't got nothing on me.
That's right, man. You're manly. Now, again, when I make this for my girlfriend Tony, I put it on steak, and she loses her mind and goes to heaven all at once. There. Now, what do I always tell people in my cooking classes? Put some green on that shit. So, there. There you go, sweetie. Now let us know what you think of that.
I'm excited.
Go in. Yeah.
Doing it.
Got your butter in there? Oh, I'm sorry. Here. That's good.
I can imagine mushrooms on a steak are good chicken.
I can't taste the cannabis at all. You let me know if you taste any pot. I'm not tasting any pot. I love it when people go, Oh wait, I'm gonna do that too. Oh God, that's good. Oh. I mean, I shouldn't brag. It's my recipe, but damn, that's good.
You're right, I don't think so at all. I think the mushrooms, probably overpower anything that would be like that.
Yeah, the mushrooms and I think the creaminess.
Yeah.
Would you have said that if it was bacon?
No.
Oh, here.
Well, it was a competition in mouth.
And if you want it, now you want to mash more? Or?
Do I?
I don't know. Did you taste them? Remember, the chef always has to taste. Let me get you a tablespoon there, chefy chef. This is so fun cooking with boys.
I really do love salty mushrooms too.
I'm so glad.
My kids don't like mushrooms. I think they're talking.
Is it delicious?
Yes, but I can't. It needs a little bit more salt, I think, but I cannot taste the cannabis butter at all.
Look, I'm just going to do that. One thing I have found in my cooking classes, people are scared of salt.
Yeah, they think it's sodium.
And if you don't have salt, you ain't got a meal. And I don't care what your health situation is.
I tend to oversalt. That's my problem.
Oh, do you? Oh, I had an ex who did that. It used to drive me crazy.
It's easy to do with leafy greens. The
Yeah.
salt should, like if I'm not paying attention to what I'm salting,
Yeah.
you can ruin the dish.
It's true. That is very true.
grandma would have heavy salt and everything. I didn't realize it was too much salt until I had other people's food. I mean, it's always good, but...
Yeah, but, well, you get real used to that. Damn, that is manly. Okay, should I serve our taste tester? Look at that, that's beautiful. You guys, look what Josh made. Aww, I can't believe it's pot butter. Now, ooh, he's really, oh, dude, are you having sex later? Because you're going to smell and taste like garlic.
No, I'm married.
Sorry, honey. Oh, that's right. Never mind. I'll give you extra. Oh, yeah, married people. You gotta love them. There you go. Woo!
Oh, my goodness.
Damn. Okay. Oh, wait. Garni. You gotta have green on there. Isn't that pretty? Okay. I'm so glad you're our taste tester.
Oh, so good. I bet this mushrooms will go good in these potatoes.
Well, you know what? You're taking all this home.
Oh.
Because he's, dairy free, and I'm trying to not weigh 300 pounds. And yeah, anyway, you can take it all home, but don't give it to the kids. Oh God, these are good, Josh.
This is yummy.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I really like
woo!
garlic too. That's a hard choice.
Damn, that's garlic. That's good garlic, though. Oh, okay.
Does garlic have a terpene in it? Is that...
It has
I know it's
linoleic acid. It must have a terpene because it has a smell.
If a banana does, I would think anything
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, I think any vegetable,
No doubt.
any plant has terpenes,
There's
right?
a place in San Francisco I went to once today, the Stinking Rose. Everything's
I
garlic.
love that place.
Oh my God.
My God, I always go there when I go to San Francisco.
I never had
God.
meatloaf that was so good.
My recipe for anytime I'm sick is to take a huge clove of garlic, peel it, throw it in like a muffin tin filled with oil, like like a 100% olive oil, whatever, extra virgin, and then bake that, and then throw it on some bread.
Yes.
Or even like a sandwich, like a tuna fish sandwich with some mayo.
Ooh.
And it's really, really garlicky. But like that, it'll kick that cold to the curb in no time.
No, I love garlic. I put some mushrooms into the thing.
You're very smart.
I'm very bad.
Actually, I'd layer this in a buttered dish, put the shrooms on top, put cheese on top of that shit.
Oh my God.
Bake it!
You're after my heart attack.
See, I tell you to do all this shit, I just can't do it.
I think this is how the Pilgrims intended Thanksgiving to be. More like an infused experience.
Full of pot.
Well, Washington grew hemp.
That's right. Oh,
You
hell.
can't tell me I didn't smoke back then.
I'm sure he
Of course,
did.
everyone
Yeah,
did. It was
easily.
medicine. For God's sake.
JFK smoked in the White House.
Yeah.
Yes, right, he did. He had back pain, too. And Marilyn Monroe. So there.
That's why I had bad pain.
Gentlemen, what have we learned today?
So the garlic overpowers the weed, which is, really good.
Yeah.
Right.
No, seriously, Josh, this is... I'm not going to ever talk bad about their little cookbook again. Because it's a good one. It's just, it's more for people who already know a lot about cannabis, right?
But how so? What differentiates I'm a player who thinks a cookbook's a freaking cookbook. I could just swap out my, butter in the recipe for just medicated butter.
Well, you could, but a lot of times if you just straight trade butter for butter, you could get a weird flavor, especially in baked goods. Like this stuff today was all delicious and we couldn't taste any cannabis, but I think it's because it's primarily savory. And I am one of those people who I do think the flavors of cannabis are almost always better in savory dishes.
Okay.
Sweet things are great,
Yeah.
but you can usually taste a little, Again, it's not bad. It's a vegetable flavor.
Yeah.
But if you don't want it, this is the way.
There's plenty of people who can't stand even that mild hint of earthy flour, dirty kind of whatever.
That flavor.
Any amount, they just can't handle it.
Yeah, and I think why the extractions are so important for them, Or
You had a good question though. So what makes a good cookbook?
Ease of use. Okay, and I'm not being critical because these guys are awesome, but these recipes are not written as simply as someone starting out would need. Okay, and also I think it's really important when you're dealing with something that has been over here for so long, but now it's over here. I think there needs to be a lot of clarity around, history and usage and stuff like that. And because I'm a Virgo and I'm OCD, my recipes are tight.
Right on.
I mean, anyone could follow them, I think. And the only issue I had was in the middle of appetizers, they'll have something that isn't an appetizer, but it's for a holiday. Okay, but I'm... Right, so I guess it just depends on what you want.
And how's your book divided up? Is it to like dinner meals?
Well, let's just take a look, shall we? Oh, look, right here. Oh, here's the beginning of it. But no, what I did, I dedicated it to my kids. I have to tell you guys, my youngest, well, he's not that young, but he's at the U of A.
Oh, right on.
He put copies of my book in the library.
Oh, awesome.
There's my boy. Wait a minute, I have to look it up. How did I do this? Hang on. Where's the directions? Basically, I tell you how to make it.
Okay.
So how to extract, how to infuse.
Nice.
And this is about CBD, but again, it could be about full plant, obviously. So then what you need in your pantry, condiments, and then, starters, salads, entrees, desserts, and beverages.
Nice.
Oh, there is a Bloody Mary recipe in here.
Oh, my God.
Not for amateurs.
Yeah.
Not for amateurs.
Any alcohol, marijuana, so you don't want to
I don't usually mix them
at all.
Yeah,
but as an adult, I do that.
Yeah.
In a legal state.
Most of my friends that don't consume cannabis that want to is only after a barbecue where they've been drinking, which is like the worst time to try cannabis is after drinking.
Yeah. And isn't that funny that if you smoke and then have maybe a half a glass of wine, you're okay. But if you're liquored up and then you get high, you are hurling.
But again, why does the alcohol lower your barrier? Like, okay, now I'll try it. Go ahead,
Well,
have
because
a joint.
it's alcohol.
Right.
It's basically a poison.
I mean, when's the last time you woke up to the wrong person off a joint?
Let's never mind. No, I never have.
Yeah.
Because I always kick them out. Just kidding, not really. We're going to probably say goodbye to you guys now because obviously we have many things to consume. But Josh, I really want to thank you, and Maggie, obviously. Look at our happy tester. Look at our face.
Good.
Well, how did the meals compare? What were they like?
Well,
it was a good side meal. The garlic was delicious and overpowered. The taste, both of them I couldn't taste the flour at all. But the mushrooms I can imagine being awesome on a steak or bacon. Like I like the protein that you're saying. You know? On a toast, okay, but on a protein, that would just knock it out the park. So.
Well, and what we're talking about, adding cannabis, either one of these as a side dish.
Yeah.
Right? So if there's kids there, or your Aunt Lucy and she doesn't want to get baked, you can regulate who gets what and how much.
Well, even like that, like what was it, 150 milligrams for the whole thing?
Yeah.
And then say divide it in quarters,
So then you're
30-ish milligrams per little side dish.
Yeah.
That would be safe for most people.
I know, most normal people.
Yeah. Well,
Those people on TV, there's 2 milligrams. Oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
What the hell is that for?
There's no such thing as too high or too little. It's just knowing what your body is.
Yeah.
People who are sick, I've seen them dab insane amounts. I'm like, I would be dead after half of that. Whereas I can smoke a lot, and it's I was going to ask you too. Is like as a consumer who's been and I've been advocating for over 20 years, but mostly because of the social justice and all that stuff. As far as like the system goes, but when I don't have weed, and I'm like, oh fuck, my body hurts now. Like I'm older. Things I need that daily intake just to
Me too, man.
not hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I can't dab like what most people do.
Well, I don't understand that stuff. I just tip right over. But
edibles are definitely one of the top trending right now with quarantine. People are either more comfortable doing it at home, or they just want something that's going to be long lasting. But either way, I think we got some good appetizers here. I really like the creaminess of the mushrooms. You couldn't taste the cannabis at all, but it had like a nice, real creamy texture to it. Whereas the potatoes, buttery, tasted just like potatoes and garlic. Again, you can't really taste the cannabis. I'd be more inclined to go towards something that's creamy than a potato. That's just my preference. But we don't really have a criteria of judging. But if you can't taste the cannabis in either one, and both of them were good, obviously you start with good products. So I don't know. I think I'm going to say that I like the flavor of the mushrooms better, but I think they were both really good recipes.
Yeah, and that's why I think that would be good on top of that.
Yeah, no, and I'm agreeing with you.
That would be the gravy, right?
Yeah. Well, I like the way you think. I like it.
Big boys like to eat.
And, I don't trust them little skinny motherfuckers.
Right. Or non-drinkers or non-smokers.
Don't trust them. They're not to be trusted. We're going to continue to chit-chat amongst ourselves, but I hope you guys have learned something today. And again, I want to really thank Super Chronic Josh and Super Chronic Maggie. You guys are awesome. And if you guys need any info, I'm maryjwhite.com. And Josh?
Josh at thetalkinghedge.com.
The Talking Hedge, because he's smart with cash and stuff. And Maggie, what's your website?
You can find me on Cannabis Legalization News.
Cannabis Legalization News. Okay. So you guys, we're going to get really high now. But thank you. See you later. Bye.
We're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. I want to thank my guests, Mary J. White and Maggie 420.
Maggie!
This is The Talking Hedge. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Or don't. And I'm out.
Just getting back from a tasting with Mary J. White and Josh Kincaid of Super Chronic, a cannabis tasting, and beware the 300 milligrams. It's been about 2 hours, and I feel really good, but it's also the reason why the Grateful Dead has 15-minute solos, the same riff. The food was good, everything's good. I just wanted to document the 2 hour effect, so probably I'm fine, just I'm asleep. So but 300 milligrams, yeah, that's pretty good. I ate it all actually. She gave me leftovers, and I took and I ate the rest on the way home because I take the bus because fuck driving. But yeah, 300 milligram, beware. But it was yummy. And you should check out Mary J. White's book, her CBD cooking book, which you can apply to full spectrum. And check out Josh on the Talking Hedge. Peace.
I'm Larry Michigan. I'd like to invite you to join Jim, Marty, and me on our weekly podcast, The Deadhead Cannabis Show. Each week we explore the latest cannabis and jam band news and reminisce with other cannabis industry deadheads and jam band aficionados about the great musical acts that we've seen and heard. Check out a new episode every Monday at mjbulls.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.